Chef Rob Stinson here, and on this episode of Fit to Eat, we're taking on portobello mushrooms, a vegetarian favorite, plus grilled granola apples, which are such a great healthy snack. We'll get started after a quick break. Welcome back. If you're looking for a healthy vegetarian alternative to wraps, then you're going to love my portobello mushroom and veggie wrap. This is a beautiful portobello mushroom, and let's talk a little bit about portobello mushrooms. They're a great substitute for meat if you're a vegetarian. It's a great source of micronutrients like selenium, copper, and potassium. The portobello mushroom is also an amazingly low-carb ingredient with about 3 grams of carbohydrates, and that's a great trade-off when you're watching your carb intake. You know, I will absolutely take the mystique out of the portobello mushroom for you by showing you how to properly gill it and cook it. But before we do that, I want to actually get our sliced tomatoes in the oven, because I'm going to take a light, salt-free, blackened seasoning and pop those in the oven. So let's work on that right now. Slicing a tomato, very simple. I'm sure everybody out there can do it. But I want to try and slice them so that they're not too thick for the wrap when we go to put them inside. And we're really just going to spread these out kind of lightly. Let's put them right on our baking pan, and really only need 3. Now let's take a little bit of our salt-free blackened seasoning, and if you're wondering why we're not showing the recipe for that, that was on a previous episode, and you can find that on the website at mpbonline.org/fit-to-eat or on Facebook. So we've got all that information for you there, and we're going to put, basically, we're putting about a half a teaspoon, and the nice part about it is it's really guilt-free because there is literally no salt in that blackening. So let's go ahead now. I'm going to move these over and pop them in the oven. And my little trick is to spray that with a little zero-fat spray, and it'll just help them brown a little. So I've taken the liberty of turning this oven on broil, and we're going to put those in there for about 6 to 8 minutes. And that should be plenty of time. Now, how do you clean a portobello mushroom? All right, this is where the mystique comes in. This is why most people don't like cooking with them, because they really don't know what to do with them. So you've got the cap. The stem has been pulled out, which would be sticking right out. Take a spoon, and this is simple. You don't need anything fancy. And as you move that spoon, and this is nothing more than a soup spoon, you don't need any fancy tools. We're going to take the mushroom, and just carefully as we come around the edge, you're going to notice you're going to lose a little bit of the mushroom on the very edge. But all we're doing is taking those gills, which actually have a little bit of dirt and all in them, out. You know, you got to remember this grows right out of the ground. But that's not tough. I mean, that's about as easy as it gets. All right, and then we'll just move this over to the side. And now we're actually going to slice the mushroom so it'll cook evenly. And I'm doing them in about 3/8 of an inch slices. And I tell you what, this is a big, beautiful portobello mushroom. Now, little zero fat spray pan coating. Let's take that pan off the flame and just show how easy it is. Let's get a nice coating with it. And that's going to ensure, now the pan is already hot as well. I take a little bit of cracked pepper and I put in the bottom of the pan, and it helps to keep anything from sticking. You can do your fresh cracked, whatever you like. Going to turn that temperature down just a little bit, and let's throw these portobello slices in the pan. And it's actually so large, we may not need them all in the wrap, but we're going to go ahead and cook them all. Then we're going to throw in our onions. Little bit of our minced garlic, and You know, a lot of questions about garlic from friends of mine about, do I use the garlic that's in the store that's kept in those little small bottles? And honestly, I don't. It's almost impossible to get garlic to brown when it's been in water or even in their oil. And it's just so easy. So I get the cloves, just smash it with a knife, dice it up, or put it through a food processor. Really simple. Okay, now let's go through, do a little bit of sanitizing our board here. And we're going to let this cook. And there's a trick when you're really trying to keep your oil low. And we want this to brown. We want to get everything on the bottom of the pan. You can take either a little wine, or in this case, I'm using just a little water. And it will help and allow you to really flip the food in a pan. I get so many comments about people who watch me on TV flipping food in the pan, and they're like, I can never do that. I just can't do it. You know, the easiest way to practice, and I tell people this, is to put a piece of toast in your skillet and practice flipping that piece of toast. When you can flip the piece of toast, you will have learned. It really isn't that hard, though, once you get used to it. And you're going to see the mushrooms will actually cook down in volume while they're in that pan. All right, now, where we're going to go is spinach. But, you know, let's talk a little bit about spinach. You know, here I've got some beautiful fresh spinach that I got at our farmer's market. Only thing I have done, I've taken some of the bigger stems away. But, you know, spinach has been called one of the most nutritious foods available, and it has earned that title. A recent study found that spinach showed evidence of significant protection against aggressive ovarian cancer, probably because of the more than a dozen individual flavonoid compounds found in spinach. Those are cancer-fighting antioxidants. Spinach is also more than 200% of your recommended daily allowance of vitamin K in it when you eat it. So it's great for your bone health. You know, spinach is a great source of iron as well. It's also easy to grow at home, and let's face facts, it was great for Popeye, it's great for us. I love it because it adds flavor in, and it's just so easy to work with. So let's go back on this pan. We're going to hit this heat up on high. And the trick with spinach is to cook it enough to warm it, but not to overcook it to where it gets stringy. And I know that sounds kind of funny, but it really isn't hard to do. So we're going to throw this in the pan, and it's quick. You're going to see as we flip the hot mushrooms with the spinach, it is virtually done. And you want to leave the mushrooms a little meaty. So, you know, we are just about at a point with that spinach where it's cooked just about perfectly. And look at the vibrant green color. That's how you know you've got great fresh spinach. Now, we're going to keep this going. And I love wraps. You know, wraps is such a great alternative. One thing that we are using is a 100% whole grain wrap, which is loaded with fiber. So you're going to hear all this talk about what's good for you. You know, the bottom line to me is that it tastes great. You know, we want it to look really pretty in the wrap so that when you slice it, it's got some visuals, and that's why we're using those tomatoes. So, you know, in essence, great food can look good and be healthy for you. Let's toss this one more time over here. I'm going to drop the heat down on that and let it move around just a little bit more. And we've got the spinach pretty much where we want it, where it's blanched thoroughly. It's got the flavor of the garlic and the onion throughout. I'm going to take a little bit more cracked pepper. And boy, I tell you what, It already looks so good. Then you're going to say, well, how are we going to actually get all this together? We're going to serve this with a beautiful tomato salad, and that's just a light mix. And then we're going to throw in our incredible grilled granola apples. So it's really got a great balance of food going on when this is all said and done. I think at this point, you know what? I think we're just about ready, and we're going to go ahead, and when I come back, I've got the special treat for you. I just mentioned our grilled granola apples, so come on back.
Ever since I've been a little girl, I've been involved in farming. My dad and Mom has always had a farm and a vegetable farm.
Well, I got about 15 acres here. Then I got acre and a half in 2 or 3 different places. Two of the places in Simpson County. It's real nice.
Brenda's Produce is one of the oldest farmers markets in Mississippi, just off West Street in Jackson. That's where you'll find Brenda 7 days a week selling the freshest produce in town.
We're here at the farmers market from April, middle April, till 1st of November. During the growing season, 90% of everything I sell is my daddy's. I have watermelons, I have cucumbers, I have okra, I have squash, I have bell peppers, I have hot pepper, just about any kind of vegetable.
And the reason we have such a good demand for what I grow, if it ain't fitting for me to eat, it ain't fitting for you to eat, and I don't care.
When I hear of a 37-year-old person dying of a heart attack, or a 27-year-old having a massive stroke, I contribute a lot of that to their eating habits. I think it's very important for people to know where their produce comes from, what has been used on it. I've had people to ask me, has your daddy sprayed anything on this corn? I pull it back and there's a worm at the top of it. I said, no, because he said anything he sprays on this corn to kill that little worm right there, then it's gonna hurt you too. I mean, we have to have money to live like everybody else, but it's really not so much the money as it is the smiles on the people's faces when I say, yes, this is Daddy's tomato. It doesn't cost a penny to be nice to people, and that's how we run our business.
Welcome back. You know, let's talk about apples. Apples are such a healthy snack. Short-term benefits, they're delicious, and they help energize you for a long workout. But the long-term benefits, apples help protect against Parkinson's disease, they help prevent cancer, and you're less likely to develop type 2 diabetes if you eat an apple a day. Apples reduce cholesterol and really can give you a healthy heart and even help prevent against gallstones. All the health problems we're facing as a nation, we're starting to see a lot of science that points to what we put into our body and the effect of that. Minor changes in your diet will have a huge impact on your health. So let's have a little bit of fun now. Obviously, there's so many types of apples. This is a red delicious apple. You can go and any variety of apple will work for this. You can even use like a Granny Smith, a green apple. What we're going to do is cut this in half, cut it in half again, and then I take a little paring knife, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to actually show you this. Let's just pare this, and everyone has their own technique. all I'm doing is just literally taking the center core out of that apple. And take your time. You know, you don't want to cut yourself. That's not fun. Go ahead and do this other half. I love apples. You know, I think it's a great way to add a flavor into a salad as well. When you take apples and slice them into a salad. And I've had a lot of people ask me, you know, how do you really do it to where you can slice them and deal with them ahead and not have them turn brown, because obviously that is the issue. A little citrus. A little citrus on them will take that and stop the browning. So slice them thin. We're just going to kind of do them all a little uniform this way so that when they go to cook, they will all relatively cook at the same speed. So again, just nice, thin slices. And what a great snack apple is. So in this case, it's almost a side dish for us. Now, let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is put these onto a plate, kind of leave them on their side so that we can get a little bit of our nutmeg and cinnamon on them. And I just love using fresh cinnamon. Great flavoring. We're going to lightly sprinkle them only on one side because they don't need any more than that. I'm going to end up putting on this about a half a teaspoon, if that. And remember, when you're using nutmeg and cinnamon together, about 1 part nutmeg to 4 parts cinnamon. I've had people tell me, wow, I made a pie, I put nutmeg and cinnamon in, and I've got this horrible, overpowering flavor. That's the nutmeg. So real light. You see, I just do that one with an itty bitty pinch, about 1/8 of a teaspoon, if that. And that's all they need. Now, a little of our pan coating. Let's take that pan away from the heat. Get a good spray on there. Pan is nice and warm, and we're going to take it, and at this point, you know what I'm going to do is just literally flip them all in the pan, kind of tricky that way, just to get them on their side. And moving them around, I'm going to put them on that side with the nutmeg first and the cinnamon. That'll be the side that browns the most, and they look so pretty, and the aroma, wow, the aroma that I'm getting out of here already is incredible. There we go. Got to kind of watch them. You don't really want to overcook them. The idea of this is just to sear some flavor, and you notice I didn't cut the skin off. When I see people do that, I want to cry. All of the nutrients in the apple are right there between the skin and the body of the apple. And that's true with almost every vegetable. So you've got to get used to it. We've talked about it with eggplant. We've talked about it with apples. We've talked about it with citrus and using the peel to get the flavoring. You want to try and be aware of that so that you keep the nutrients where they should be, which is where you want it to be when you eat them. Now, we've seared it on the bottom. And where we're going to go with this, and I tell you what, while those are actually searing, I'm going to flip them one time right now. Drop the temperature down because it looks really good. And we need to go get our tomatoes out the oven, so let's follow me, and we're going to head over and grab those. Woohoo! Oh, they look so good. I'm going to take let's kind of pull these right on to our board. They came out looking just perfect. Gonna put that over on the side. That's gonna end up in our wrap, and you notice it's got that neat little searing quality, and that's what you want. You want those to be a little smoky. You want them to have that great flavor of our salt-free blackening. Now, coming back to our apples, we're going to add just a touch of water to the pan. And you know, they talk about deglazing a pan. That's all we just did. Deglazing a pan means getting all of the seasoning that has browned into the food back in the food itself. And in this case, It adds so much flavor to these apples. And I love the way that they've come out. Now, while we're waiting on those, and those are just going to kind of sit here at a low temperature, let's bring out our little salad that we're going to use with this, which is a little light cherry tomato salad. Some onion, some garlic, some basil, a little cracked pepper, and a little bit of vegetable stock for the juice. Why are we using the vegetable stock? You'll realize as you watch the show, I love using stock or natural juices instead of oil. Why? You know, I mean, what you're really trying to do at this point is take the fat out of the dish. And oil is so heavy in fat. Not that there isn't good cooking oil, but in this case, we don't need it. I'm going to show you why. I've got about 8 cherry tomatoes that we've sliced in half. We're going to throw in about a tablespoon of our chopped basil, fresh basil. Makes all the difference in the world. And we're going to actually crack some pepper in here. You know, if not, you can use a little pinch of your pepper if you don't have a pepper mill handy. The pepper is just a great additive. About a teaspoon of minced garlic, no more. And some diced onion. Already looks pretty, huh? And then your vegetable stock. And you're like, wow, that's kind of an interesting blend. It really is. Now all we do is just literally spoon this together with the vegetable stock, and it's going to make a really nice light side item for our wrap. You might even say as you're going through this, you know, it's kind of like eating a light little caprese salad without the mozzarella, but you got the mozzarella inside the wrap. Everybody's like, what's a caprese? Caprese in Italy is typically tomato, basil, and mozzarella. Now again, that would always be served with olive oil, and in this case, we've got our stock. We're going to kind of let that mix through, flatten it so everything gets marinated as well as it can. And this is something you do fast. You do it quickly, and you can already see, look at the beautiful colors in there. Be a great dish to think of using maybe around holidays, I just noticed, with the red and green. So kind of fun. All right, now, what we're going to do at this point is just literally kind of start the thought process of our plate, because we're going to have our little tomato salad. We're going to have our granola apples. And at this point, I'm going to throw the granola in the pan and actually toss it. And why? Because we want to have it get the same flavor of that cinnamon and nutmeg. And it's going to actually coat the apples without really making a mess. You can see. It's a great way to flavor your granola. Granola is so versatile in what you can do with it. Incredibly versatile. I mean, look at how nice these apples have turned out. And it's just enough where they're still crunchy, but they've got so much good flavor from warming them. I think it shows the versatility of the apple. And let's see. You know, at this point, we'll be coming back in just a moment. So let's take our quick break. And remember, check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/MPB Fit to Eat. Don't forget to like us, and come on right back. Welcome back. And you're going to say, wait a minute, he cheated. Yes, there is a little mozzarella on our wrap. I took the liberty of laying out the wrap. I put some fat-free mozzarella shredded cheese underneath. It acts kind of like glue when you go to wrap this up. And our blackened tomatoes. So now let's just take our portobello mushroom, onions, and spinach. Perfect looking color there, great flavor. And here's the trick. Put the food on the back half of the wrap, fold it in, and roll it over. It's really not that hard to do. Take it, slice it on a bias. You want everybody to see how pretty it is, and turn it out on the plate. So there is absolutely a beautiful, healthy meal. It looks delicious. And let's talk about the nutritional information. 380 calories, 65 grams of carbohydrates, 30 grams of protein, and yes, 2 grams of fat. Unbelievable. Where are you going to find a meal that low in fat and 12 grams of fiber? It's a healthy, filling vegetarian meal, and it looks so great. So, portobello mushrooms are a delicious, healthy alternative food. Don't be intimidated by them. They have a meaty flavor and a meaty texture. Try it instead of ground beef for a hamburger sometimes, and you'll be surprised by the taste. Let us know on Facebook what you think of portobello mushrooms and how you're using them. Thanks for watching. Chef Rob Stinson with Fit to Eat. Tune in next week.